So, a couple days ago, I did a tier list of NASCAR tracks. Today, I'm going to do NASCAR drivers because that is the second most voted thing you guys wanted me to do for a tier list. So, I'm going to do that today. Here are the tiers. It's going to be S, A, B, C, and D. I'm not having an F tier because I don't think any NASCAR driver is F tier quality because it took them a lot to get to this point, and yeah, they are good drivers if they're racing in NASCAR. So let's go ahead and get started with Denny Hamlin. He is an easy S tier. Currently 4th in points with 706 points, and he has 3 wins and he has 8 top 5. So he's always a consistent driver. He's easily the S tier pick for me. And he's just solid, and he can race at every single track. He's not the best at road courses, but he's an all-around great driver. He's pretty clean. Ryan Blaney, I'm going to put him at the top of A tier. I don't think he should be S tier. He is 5th in points with 676. He has 2 wins and 7 top 5s. And, I definitely think I could put him in S tier, but, it's just, he's good and he's very solid driver. So that's why I'm going to put him there. Chase Briscoe, I think barely will make it into B tier. Chase Briscoe, he is an interesting one. Like, he is driving a lot better now that he has pressure, because I think he's going to Gibbs next year. But, he's in 16th in points. The 16 car, I'm not really sure. It's kind of an open car. They have had a lot of different drivers go in there. I think maybe Kaz Gralla was in there once, or Shane Van Gisbergen drove there, AJ Allmendinger. So it's kind of been an open car, but whoever has driven it has just, not been that great. I mean, Shane Van Gisbergen did good at the Chicago street course, but besides that, I can't really remember the 16 car doing good no matter who was driving in it. Chris Buescher, I'm going to put him at the top of B tier because Chris Buescher is just, he's shown that he can be a good driver and run up with the big guns. He is 12th in points with 562 points. He has no wins. He does have 5 top 5s. So, he's just consistent, and RFK is, a really good team. And, they have some talent there. Chris Buescher, he's a clean driver, and, he's just good. Martin Truex Jr., he is an easy A tier. Even though he is, maybe not as good as people would think, and he doesn't have a win this year, he is 7th in points, and he has been very consistent. He might only have 4 top 5s, too, but Indianapolis was a rough race. I think he might have wrecked twice or made a couple mistakes, but, all around he's just pretty solid. And, you have to put him high up. Christopher Bell, he's in S tier. Easily S tier for Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell is 8th in points, but he has 3 wins and 7 top 5s. He's been involved in a couple of wrecks along the way. And, he's had a couple bad races, too, here and there. But I think Christopher Bell just, he could easily be in the championship 4 again. He's a good young driver, and I think he can only do better from here. Harrison Burton, there's not much to say about him. I mean, he's not that good. I mean, he's 34th in points. He only has 238 points, and he's just always in the back of the field, and he's not really shown any potential, and he just hasn't had a good race this year that I can remember. He might have been up there at Indianapolis, but the pit strategies were all messed up during that race. Next up we have Joey Logano, who is an A tier driver. Okay, listen to me. You guys might not be happy. He is 15th in points. He does have a win, which I don't know if they count the All-Star race as a win, but help me out here, guys. I don't remember another time Joey won except the All-Star race. I'm sorry. My brain just can't remember those things. He does have 4 top 5s. Joey Logano has had a rough year, but it is still Joey Logano, okay? He is still the same guy who has won a championship. And, he's just a good driver. So that's really all I have to say about him. Bubba Wallace. Okay, he's a B-tier driver. He has, he's kind of hard to rank because he can have stretches where he runs really well and in stretches where, he's outside the top 20. So I'm going to put him at B-tier. He's definitely above Chase Briscoe and not above Chris Buescher, but yeah. Austin Cindric, I'll probably put him B-tier. He's better than Chase Briscoe. So, Austin Cindric, again, has a win. He is 19th in points. He only has 2 top 5s, though. So that win kind of carries the weight. He does have 438 points, and remember, he drives for good equipment because he drives for Penske. So that's also a factor that comes into play is, the equipment they drive in. The 31, I'm pretty sure most of the season it's been Daniel Hemrick that has been in there. He's 30th in points, no top 5s, 316 points, and, he's better than the 16 car, but I think he might even be worse than Harrison Burton. Harrison Burton is 34th in points, but Daniel Hemrick, besides, last week at Indianapolis, I don't think, he is that good. Michael McDowell, he's going in B tier. Definitely better than Chase Briscoe. I'm not going to put him above Cindric. McDowell is 21st in points. He has 2 top 5s. And McDowell, he's starting to become an all-around driver. He's good at road courses and super speedways. But, he's starting to, get better in intermediate and short tracks. We're starting to see him crack the top 15 more often at, those type of tracks. And, I think he's got a bright future, and he's improving very rapidly. Ross Chastain, he is going in A tier. There's not much else to say about that. He is 13th in points. He has 2 top 5s. He's had a rough year a little bit. He's been involved in a couple wrecks. I'm gonna put him in front of Logano, but he's just, I can't put him any higher than this. This is kind of being a nice guy here because Chastain really on the stat board, he does not look that good, but he's always contending in the top 5 for the race win. Sometimes he just goes a little too aggressive. Todd Gilliland, he is definitely better than Chase Briscoe. He is higher in points. He is 20th. Michael McDowell is 21st. But Todd Gilliland, he doesn't have any top 5s. He's just been consistent this year. And, I'm really surprised because these past couple years, it's been rough for him. And, he has really improved a lot. And that's why I'm going to put him in B tier because, he's just been racing really good. So, next we have Austin Dillon. And sadly, I'm going to have to... He's probably better than Harrison Burton. I'm going to have to put him in D tier. Austin Dillon, he's 32nd in points. He has 294 points. And meanwhile, he has cracked the top 10 lately a couple times. But it's just not been enough because eventually he'll just fall back to 25th again or something like that. And I feel like the next gen era hasn't really, the Gen 7 era hasn't really helped him that much. He's almost gotten worse, I feel like. Ryan Preece, I'm going to put him barely in C tier, probably the bottom of C tier. Ryan Preece is 26th in points. He does have 1 top 5, which I'm guessing probably came at a super speedway or something. But, yeah, that's the problem with Ryan Preece. That super speedway, again, with all these guys down here, those are the big races that they can actually have a chance to win. He does have 329 points and is 26 like usual, but he just, I never see him up in the front much. John Hunter Nemechek, he's 31st in points, and, no top 5s, no race wins, of course. But I think, again, Legacy, it's not a good team at all. And that really hurts to talk to Legacy like that, because I think they have big potential. But John Hunter Nemechek, even though he's 31st in points, I think he is, getting better. So Tyrek is an easy S tier. He's been very, very consistent all this season. He is 3rd in points. He does have a win. But the thing that sticks out to me, 9 top 5s. 9. 734 points. But he is just, 9 races. That's like a third of the races we've ran so far this season. I don't know how many we've ran so far. Maybe a fourth, but getting that many top 5s is really good. He's just really consistent. Ricky Stenhouse, I'm going to have to put him in C tier. He's kind of hard to rank. He is 25th in points. He has 2 top 5s, which, again, probably came at super speedways or something. Or, no, he probably wrecked himself at super speedway. But anyways, yeah, he's been in a lot of wrecks. He's just kind of a mid-pack guy, That's where he is. He's never in the back. He's just in the middle of the pack. Sometimes he'll go into the top 15, but I don't know how he got 2 top 5s. But, he's just an average driver. Ty Gibbs has had a really good season. This is his breakout season. He showed glimpses last year, but he is really, done great this year. He has 5 top 5s. He's 11th in points. And, he can only get better from here, I think. And he's doing really good. He's a really, really good racer. And, yeah, and he does race for Gibbs, but, that's all right. He's still a really good driver. And Kyle Larson is another, S-tier driver, because he is just, I think he's even better than Denny Hamlin at this point. Because Kyle Larson, 1st in points, 4 wins, 9 top 5s, and he missed a race. Like, I don't know who else can do that. And he has a 10-point lead on Chase Elliott in points. I do not know who else could do that that's in NASCAR right now. But Kyle Larson is able to just be consistent, and he's in every race. Like, unless he wrecks or gets a penalty or some mistake happens, he can win every race. He's in, the top 5 most of the race. Eric Jones, he's C tier. He's better than John Hunter Nemechek, but again, he has not had a good year. He is 27th in points, 329 points, but again, drives for Legacy, who I just don't think is a very good team at all, I wish Legacy was a good racing team, but, Eric Jones, started at Gibbs, and his career just went down drastically after he left. So, next we have Alex Bowman, who has had a great season. He is A tier. If you told me before the season started Alex Bowman would be an A tier driver, that would just blow my mind if that actually happened. And he is done super good this season. He is 10th in points. He has a win. 6 top 5s. 606 points. He could, make a deep run into the playoffs. And he's even gotten more consistent as the season's gone on. So, great year for Bowman. Zane Smith, I think that's who drives the 71. He is, 33rd in points. He does have a top 5, but you have to remember, his team is bad. He drives for a team that is not good, and he has made the most out of, their equipment. And, he's doing good, and he's had a good, rookie season in the Cup Series. And same thing with Justin Haley. Justin Haley, I think he's the person who drives that car. Yeah, Justin Haley, a Rick Ware racing car, is in 29th in points. I am blown away with how Haley has been able to drive this 51 car. He's cracked the top 10 sometimes. He's had 2 9th-place finishes, I think, this year. I just don't know how he's been able to do it with a Rick Ware racing car. That's just unbelievable. So that's why I'm putting him where he is. Josh Berry, people had questions about how he was going to perform this year to replace Kevin Harvick, and I think he's done good. He has 2 top 5 finishes, 388 points. He is 22nd in the point standings. But, I think he's just, he's been up in the top 5 battling for the lead sometimes. He's gotten a couple poles, I think, or at least been close to getting poles. And, I think he can only get better from here. And he's pretty consistent usually, but that's why he is there. William Byron is in S tier. He's had a rough stretch here, but this beginning of the season, he was going crazy. He has 7 top 5s, 3 wins, 654 points, and he is in 6th place in the point standings. And William Byron, no matter what track it is, he is good at it. Short tracks, intermediate tracks, road courses, he's shown to be good recently. Even super speedways, too. He is just an all-around really, really good driver. Brad Keselowski is in A tier. He is 9th in points. He does have a win, which I believe that came at Darlington. 7 top 5s, 615 points. The thing about Brad is, on Penske, he was really, really good. But Brad's just consistent. I mean, he might have gotten robbed from a win last week at Indianapolis. Who knows if he was able to save enough fuel if no cautions came out. But, yeah, he's just consistent. I mean, that was crazy how he could save that much fuel. Carson Hocevar. I do not like Carson Hocevar personally. But he, is good for the equipment he has. He drives pretty good. And, yeah, he's, made some moves that haven't been that good this season. He has no top 5s. He does have 383 points. He is 24th in the point standings. And, I think he's driven good this season. I think he can, again, only get better from here. Next up, we have Corey LaJoie. And, again, he's had a rough season. He's 28th in the point standings. I don't know where he got his top 5 from. No clue. But he has 324 points. Again, 28th in the point standings. Just been an all-around rough season. He's crashed a lot of cars. Some of the time it's not even been his fault. But, it's just been a rough season. And I hope Corey LaJoie can do good. I mean, I think he has some potential, but yeah. Now, this is going to be painful. Jimmie Johnson is my favorite driver, but he just can't adapt to modern NASCAR. It's kind of hard to explain. Now, he's a owner of a team, but he also is driving, and he's just not good at all. He's 38th in the point standings. He doesn't race every race, but he's just not good anymore. If this was all-time, I would put Jimmy in S tier, definitely. He's one of the all-time greats. Another all-time great, Kyle Busch. It's hard to put him this low for me. I know a lot of you think I should put him higher, and a lot of you probably think I should put him lower with how this season has been going. He's 18th in the point standings. He has 2 top 5s. He's wrecked a lot of cars. This has been a really, really bad year for Kyle Busch. I hope, he can bounce back, I'm not the biggest fan of Kyle Busch, but I know he's a good driver. He's dominated the past 10 years. This year has not been good, but I'm going to have to put him in B tier because he's still Kyle Busch inside that race car. He is still a great driver. Daniel Suarez, I'm going to put him low B tier because he hasn't really done much this season. Well, he does have a win, but, he has 2 top 5s. He's 17th in points. But I just really haven't, noticed him, besides, a couple races. He's kind of been in mid-pack. But, he's a B-tier driver because he's got that win. And, he's not been bad this season. And Chase Elliott, I want to put him in S tier, but I think very, very top of A tier is good. because I don't know why. He is second in points, and he has 1 win, 7 top fives, 739 points. He's just been really consistent. I mean, Chase Elliott, he's bounced back from last year, definitely. I think he won at Texas. Is that correct? I'm not sure. There's just been, I don't know. I can't remember those type of things. But, yeah, Chase is always a good driver. Noah Gragson, our last guy today to rate, he is going in B tier, just behind Austin Cindric. And he has been, pretty good this season, I think. He has 1 top 5. He's 23rd in points. But again, I think he's, been consistent. He's been in the top 5 for a good amount of time sometimes. So, yeah. Here is my final list. You guys can look where your favorite drivers are. But hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Bye.